Alrighty, welcome to the weekly offload. So, just before the pod, I said to Adam, you're going to intro yourself. And the reason being, I feel like I'm not the best at introing my guest. So, I want you to give an introduction. How would you describe yourself for the listeners?
How would I describe myself? I am a single man. I'm playing.
Well, yeah, but you are single.
Yeah, I'm single.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so if there are single ladies out there,
Give me a holler. Yeah.
yeah,
DM.
you're single and ready to mingle, would you
Correct.
call that? Okay.
Yes, I'm on prep, so maybe not the mingle, but I'm single.
Okay. I was just trying to go with like the young kids lingo, you know what I mean?
100%. The young
would-
Thundercats.
yeah, was that cool, would you say?
Yeah, it was cool. It was
It was different. It was
It
different.
was different. It was your style.
Yes, it was my style. And I'm not, Nog said today, another thing I do is I say interesting a lot on the podcast. So you
like
got to
you fill in.
yeah, you got to catch me for that.
I got
Yeah.
you.
Maybe, so you think I say interesting when it's not interesting?
Possibly, maybe because you're trying to make the person feel better about what they just said.
Yeah, that actually might be. Yeah, it might
It's
be
natural
okay.
when you're surrounded by like. You know what I'm saying?
So sing. We'll try to. This podcast is going to be a bit of fun, guys, but we'll try to be semi-serious. But I can imagine it's going to go in a little bit of crazy directions today. But bro, apart from being single, what else? How else would you describe yourself? Would you say?
Very independent guy. Love working hard. That's pretty much what I've been doing since I left school, just working. Love learning. So whenever I have the opportunity to do so, I'm just like always upskilling myself. I'm pretty boring in my spare time. When I'm free, like, or whenever I do have a like spare moment to myself, I'll just like chuck on a docker or chuck on something informative, even like falling asleep to something like that.
And why do you say boring? Because you're pretty
boring.
structured, would you
Correct.
say, in life? Like you're big on routine.
Yes, I'm big on routine only because I've reaped the benefits of it thus far. So I'm like, if it's not broke, don't try to fix it in a way.
And I want to, so Adam works with me at one playground in Maryland.
right.
But if you can, I think it's just the way you say it. Can you tell us a story of your transformation? Because you were a voluptuous.
Voluptuous.
Would that be weird to call a kid? You
Is that saying I was thick?
you were a chubby young fellow.
Yeah. Well, in my early
Early
days.
years.
Correct. Yeah. I was
So tell us the story of that. So your uncle, was it, that sort of got you to the park? Is that correct?
My brother, my oldest brother.
Oh, your oldest brother. Oh,
My
okay.
uncle, that was a separate thing. That was another story.
Okay.
Another traumatic experience. Yeah.
Okay, because Adam did say to me at work, he's like, if you want trauma, we can trauma dump today.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell us a story. So your brother,
Correct, yeah.
So he saw you. Is this correct? He saw you gaming and sort of gaining weight, and then he wanted to change your mindset, but in a very extreme
Yeah, it
circumstance.
was a disgusting way. The gaming was part of it. I was a big gamer, playing like FIFA. This is like 2014, so I was 14 years old. So FIFA on a beanbag chair, 3 solos a day, loving life. After school, no homework. That was my work. Fucking literally every day. That was my ritual. And then he introduced me to footy. My family's been a footy family, so they used to be president of the club. Like my uncle, my grandmother, everyone was involved. My cousins played rep. My uncle played Roosters second grade in like the 80s. And then, so like just that family sort of like camaraderie through rugby league. And then I was never into it. And then they were like, oh, do you want to play rugby league? I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll give it a go. Ended up under 14s, didn't make Division 1, made Division 2. We were undefeated all the way into the grand final. And then that's the game that he came to watch. And then I was shocked, bro. I was just a chubby kid.
So you were actually on the winning. So your team was good.
Yeah, the team was good due to one player. This very developed 14-year-old.
Can I don't want to. I don't know if this is racist, but was he of Islander background?
Were you there?
The only reason why I know, because we had Simone, he played with us, and he was literally, it was like a halfback in a front row's body.
Yeah,
like
no,
he
legit.
would beat 4 players, and then for some reason he'd chip and chase like the little white fullback, and we're like, why did you do that? And he's like, oh, bro, just I don't know, yeah, it just felt like a good thing to do at the time. So, but yeah, so he was good.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it was really good. Like above his ears.
Okay.
But like he didn't, like even when he showed up to training, he was the type of kid. He came with like headphones in his ears, like didn't hear anything what the coach was doing, didn't do any fitness. But when it came to game day,
Switch on.
scoring like 5-6 tries. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And then so he saw you on the bench.
I was on the field, but I was not involved. Let's just say the least. And I had my uncle screaming from the sideline as well. Get involved, and I was just blocking him out. Maybe from traumatic experience early on, but I was just like,
So you could hear him.
correct, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But being 14, low confidence, low self-esteem, and then I think I wasn't used to the pressure. I was still in my shell, definitely. You could say that, in my shell. Not understanding like really the game and the process of it. I was training, don't get me wrong, I was training hard and everything, but diet wasn't there. I was 14, so still that mentality wasn't formed yet. And then following that, after we lost in the grand final to the team we beat twice. And then he's like, I can't have my brother being a shit cunt, in his exact words.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, in his exact words.
Okay.
And then moving forward from that, because it was September was the grand final, so it was near the end of the year for a term 3 if I'm not mistaken. And then taking me we lived up the road from Belmore Park. So this was before Bulldogs made the return, so the field was basically free. And then he would take me there after school every day on the school holidays. Didn't miss a day. And we wouldn't leave the field unless I was
Really?
like that type of breath. Yeah. So him doing that consistently into the off season, into the next season, really formed my mentality going into under 15s, where then I did play Division 1. And then I was St. George Dragons at Clinton Park originally. At Clinton Park. Hello.
I'm just telling him to go closer to the mic for anyone listening on Spotify. Yeah, you got to really make love to that. Yeah, lick that mic. But yeah, keep going. Go on.
And then I ended up playing for St. John's, and then that was a good culture there because under 15s they have a program basically where it's they take you in the preseason to I think it's where Manly train. So we're staying together basically for like the weekend, and then just thrashing us at the park, basically St. June's, you name it, we were doing it. And by then my fitness was quite up there, and I had slimmed down quite a bit too. On top of him, like pumping me at the park, not physically, like just to clarify.
Just for just to clarify. I guess you don't know what our audience is like, but I don't know if they're thinking that. But yeah, go
just
on.
in case, just to throw that out there.
That's good. Who's hosting again? Yeah, let me do it. No, I'm joking. Yeah, go on.
But and then on top of the training at the park, as well as that night, he wouldn't allow me to go to sleep unless I'd done 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, 50 dips. And it was off my knees to begin with, obviously with the push-ups. And then popping those out, I was like maybe doing 8 to 10 at a time. So I was going into a full sweat into bed basically after my shower, just because I had to like tick the boxes.
Wow.
And then that helped really turn my body out. So the muscle was starting to get there. I was quite defined, but very skinny still, quite lanky. And then I had my growth spurt, and then that sort of helped as well because I was a little bit taller than the other, I guess, the 14 going to 15-year-olds. And then that was probably my breakout year under 15s. I was originally a winger, and then from all the cardio I'd done, they put me into the fullback position, and then I was just literally, I prided myself on always being first in whatever we were doing in terms of cardio, drills, supporting the forwards in the back when they were lacking a little bit. So that also helped me sort of get the stepping stone into being a personal trainer as the years followed on. I just enjoyed like helping people and like pushing them through the tough times, knowing the pain it is, or knowing the pain that they're going through, basically.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, obviously, I do want to skip forward eventually to the PT, but I know we joke around a lot, but I wanted to ask you a serious question. So, I don't know if you're aware of Jonah Hill, the actor.
Yeah.
So he has a documentary on Netflix, and it's with his therapist, and it's about your, I believe they call it like your past self or your child life like self, and he sort of says that it'll always like be there. Essentially, so he has a photo of him as like I'm just going to say a fat kid, without being too PC, as a fat kid, and then he says to the therapist, "How long will it take me to shed this person?" And he said, "You shouldn't actually be ashamed of that person. Unfortunately, though, he will always be a part of you." So it's a deep question for us, but do you feel like that, or do you feel like a completely different person to that overweight kid, let's say?
Well, if you ask me that now compared to say maybe 5, 6 years ago, yes, I feel like he's a part of me only because I've done a lot of work in healing that kid there. So a lot of self-reflection, a lot of like shadow work, journaling, meditation, a lot of time to myself basically. Not with the intention of that happening, it's just how things fell into place. It allowed me to, I guess, sort of like fixate on that and then realize that it is a part of me and it always will be, and it sort of made me who I am today. Because without that, I don't think I would have had that. I don't have that strong mentality I have like currently.
Yeah, well, I think it's important for people. I think a narrative does set us apart from a lot of people. Like when you're sort of same, it can be easier to be mundane or average, but because you had that experience, as you said, your narrative was that kid that was doing the 50 sit-ups and things like that before bed. You've probably carried that on. And then I also wanted to ask you, this is also possibly skipping ahead too, but I know, if you don't mind me asking, I know your mum was a single mum.
Correct.
So what qualities, we've talked about it many times, like I can't believe people are single parents, like without having a nervous breakdown, but what qualities did you take from her in life, I guess?
Probably similar to my brother in terms of the mentality, strong mentality, never giving up, wearing your heart on your sleeve, being genuine, not having any sort of secret intentions behind what you're saying or how you're acting. Just overall just being a good person, which I don't think is valued as much today because being a good person doesn't necessarily get you into a high position or whatever the case may be.
Likes on Instagram.
Correct, yes, especially this day and age. So I guess I sort of have an old school mentality because of that. And due to that, some people refer to it like an old soul almost. So I was a little bit more mature for my age growing up, which I realized set me apart from my friends. Not in terms of like I'm better than them or anything, more so just how I was thinking. And then early on, because I was probably a bit more of the childhood trauma, like doing stuff just to make people like me. So that was early on, definitely. Later on into my teen years, that's literally what I was about, not realizing that's what I was doing because I was just going out of my way to make them happy or whatever the case may be, trying to impress them. And then it wasn't until I sort of had that isolation by myself where I separated myself from my friend group and found who Adam really was.
And was that tough to do?
Yes. It was tough in the aspect of, I guess, the adjustment from being used to being like, I guess most people go through that as well. In high school, you're surrounded by a group of people, and then naturally after that, you slowly, like, it deters away, and then you're just by yourself, or maybe you have 2-3 friends. But because I did leave school a little bit early, so that happened a little bit earlier as well. And even in school, from 15, I was working nights at a wedding reception.
Oh, wow.
So when everyone was like going partying and stuff, I was working like into the AM, like 2-3 a.m.
And was this also when you said that was that the job where you felt like, not act older, but you would have to have a little bit of a more mature demeanor to get, so that probably helped as well. But then I guess with what you're saying with your childhood, you had to grow up fast too.
Yes. It was, not one thing. I think everything sort of shaped that, yeah. Because when you had a wedding reception, no one's really 15, especially the other workers. So I always had to, I looked older than what I was. I looked at least like 18. I could have passed. But yeah, just needing to put on that persona early on. And then from putting on that persona to actually becoming it was just like a natural sort of, I don't know, reaction after.
Okay, so you were 15 when you did that job.
Yeah, correct.
Wow, at a wedding.
Wedding reception, waitering, bartender, all of the above.
Really?
Yes, definitely illegal. But
So I was gonna say, is that legal to
I
do
was
that?
just serving Coca-Cola.
Okay, I see. But wow, okay, so that's I've noticed, by the way, I've already instead of saying interesting, I've said wow 3 times. So yeah, I'm gonna change that up
Switch
too.
it up a little bit.
But it's been it's quite interesting because I thought maybe I just said it. Damn it, knock. But I didn't know how this podcast was going to go, but let's keep on this roots. Quite deep. Well, you are a deep person as well. Well, I am too, but obviously we love a laugh and things like that. But I was going to sort of segue into joke, but this is also serious. Being Middle Eastern, obviously I hate you. No. Being Middle Eastern, I know we joke about it sometimes in the office or whatever it is, or we say jokes in the office. But did you find, this is a serious question, did you find it harder to, let's say, get out of the friendship group? Because my friend, it's a completely opposite story, but my friend, his last name was Muhammad, right?
Okay.
And he was getting married, and he said there's a lot of, even now, probably to this day, which is a shame, racism connected to his last name. So his wife is Asian background, has an Asian background, and he didn't want her to carry the name. So he changed his last name. I won't say what it is now, I guess. But his cousin, he got a lot of hate from his cousins and things like that, like ringing him and, oh, you're ashamed of the last name and things like that. Yeah. So is that hard too? Because I know, like, I'm not saying this was your cousins or anything like that, but obviously your friend group probably revolved around some of the people they knew as well. So was that difficult?
I experienced it early on because even from primary school, so I don't mind getting into it, but my dad's Muslim and my mum is Catholic, a Maronite Catholic, Maronite Christian. And my mum chose to get us baptized, all of us. And my dad was happy enough. He was in love with her. So when they got married, he married her in the church as well, just to make her happy. So he was that type of guy, like willing to do whatever just for love. And then upon that, though, I don't think they realized or had the realization of the confusion that it would cause growing up. Because for example, like later on after because they separated quite early, say around like when I was 10, 11. And then, so going into school and stuff where my dad would just take us to school, he would pick us up from my mom's house, and then that was just a normal procedure. But it was a bit different when we would go visit my dad on the weekends, and then we'd go visit my grandmothers, or datas, like how we say grandmother in Arabic. And then it's a completely different scenery in terms of like, they're all scarved up. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like just from the point of view as a child.
So you saying, did you find it hard, like, to find your identity?
More
would
so
you
because
say?
I was such a people pleaser and I didn't want to let anyone down. So not that I was like picking or choosing, but it was quite like, made me feel, like now I understand that I was torn, like I was confused because I didn't know where to follow, who to make happy. And obviously as a kid, you don't realize that you're just going through, you're just going through the motions, you know what I mean? And then I didn't really, because it was normal to me. It was normal to me. That's what I'm trying to say. And then I didn't realize how different it was until I started having conversations with kids in like primary school, like year 6, and then understand that, oh wait, both your parents are Christian. So like that's when it started like, oh, okay, maybe it's a little bit different. Maybe it's a little bit different. Or
And can I ask you? You don't have to answer, but what would you identify as now?
I was baptized and I'm Maronite Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you could potentially go. Well, it could
Hybrid?
go 3 ways.
Hybrid?
Yeah, you could. Well, 4 ways. Yeah, you could be hybrid. You could, as you said, pick or choose.
I do respect both of them though because I saw both of them. Even growing up, I did fast Islamically as a kid when I was 13, and then but just as I guess not seeing my grandmother as much because then we started just going to my dad's house, and then that was another thing just in itself because I guess because he was Muslim but he wasn't as like he wasn't showing it, or he wasn't as religious.
Practicing.
Correct. Yes. Correct.
Okay.
So then it didn't really like it wasn't as like a back thought as much. And then going to a Catholic primary school and then a Catholic high school, so I was literally surrounded by nothing but like Catholic people. So it was just more so when that conversation came up about, or when people would ask me, because all it takes is just, especially in high school, you just one person you tell, and then it ends up the whole grade knows, and then you do get some sort of like outsider vibes from it. So yeah, that was an adjustment in itself. But like I said, I was used to it, but it was an adjustment when everyone found out about it, and then once again being a people pleaser, trying to stay on top of that.
So you'd be a good person to ask this, because you could, how can I say, you could almost not lie, but you could have said as a kid you're one or the other. Do you think there's, and you can be completely honest, do you think there is a stigma, let's say with the Muslim community in Australia? Or was there, was there back then, and do you think it's better now?
I think it goes both ways, to be honest. Depends who you're speaking to. Both have their own views in terms of like how they see people, how they treat people. Although from my point of view, when you break it down, they sort of are exactly the same. Yeah, obviously the religions are completely different. I'm not saying like the religion's the same, but in terms of the qualities and how they want to treat one another, they all treat one another the exact same, with love, with the, I guess, with the terms and conditions that they are part of the same group, if you will. I don't think Muslim people have it hard unless the person you're speaking to or the community you're with has a problem with Muslims themselves, and vice versa.
Okay.
And vice versa, yeah.
So you would say on both sides. It's interesting. The reason why I asked you, because you'd be a good person to judge, because I potentially thought you might say it'd be harder for Muslims, if I'm honest. But yeah.
I did feel like I previously said, I did feel like an outsider when I was going to a Catholic school and stuff, and they're like, oh, you're not really Christian, and you're not. So I did cop a lot of that as well. So, but once again, I'm not here to jump on one side or the other.
No.
Fence, but from my point of view, yeah, it was a little bit hard because I was in a Catholic setting the whole time. And even though, like I said, I got baptized, had my communion, all that stuff, I still wasn't, like, I was seen as like a half-bred, if that makes sense, yeah?
Well, there's heaps of people that say they can be mixed race and say they don't feel fully in either. Yeah, which is sad, because if from my point of view, I would think, oh, you should be like, not that they're not proud of both sides, but it is sad that they don't feel comfortable in either. So is that how you, obviously you don't feel like that now, but you felt a little bit like that when you were young or growing up?
Definitely.
Okay.
And not understand those emotions that were just suppressed naturally. So, and then it became normal, because like going through that for years through school, it just became normal. And then just something that I felt like I had to defend, because I was like, because obviously people are going to talk bad about the opposite side in their view, even though there's not really an opposite side. So having to bite my tongue, and then it really taught me from a young age how to see things through a third person view, if that makes sense. So take myself out of the equation and then understand from their point of view as well as the other side. Yeah.
100%. Well, I've spoken on this podcast about just moving overseas, and even though really, for me, London or England should be my country, because that's where we came from, but being there as an immigrant, quote unquote, I know I make jokes in the office and things like that, obviously, but I believe you can joke about things, but if your core principles are good, that's when you can joke about it. 100%. But if you're not, you shouldn't be able to. But I can understand exactly what you're saying, because me going over there as, like I said, quote unquote, an immigrant, even though that's my real only country, but going over there, it was like I could get more of appreciation of people that come to Australia, and I'd speak about this with my wife Polly as well, that people don't appreciate that people come here and can't speak English, and then there's Aussies here that are like, oh, like immigrants or blah 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 whatever, but they've could have done better than them. And it's a little bit like
double standards,
and that completely. When I came back, it was like seeing Australia from an outsider point of view, which is sometimes hard because it's like what you just said. You got to bite your tongue, or you feel like if you attack your own country, for example, people do get defensive over something they care about. So it's obviously religion is another thing that they care so much about. So I completely understand, but it's giving you a gift that a lot of people don't have. Because a lot of people, whatever, like what you're saying, whatever they are, Christian, Muslim, gay, straight, whatever it is, a lot of times they can see it from their point of view without even realizing. And they're sort of saying, no, I'm pretty open to things. But you're thinking that, not really. You're seeing it from exactly who you are,
Correct.
how you grew up and things like that. I mean, those do shape us. But I want to circle back because you did... this is so Adam hasn't listened to the weekly offload. I'm outing you a little bit, but it did start as a rugby league program, but we've sort of gone in mental health and sport direction. But you actually have played representative for Lebanon.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me how that came about.
Playing club footy. The first one was I made under 16s Harmony Cup. So basically, it's a day where you're versing all other countries: Fiji, Samoa. That's all the ones I can remember. But I don't know.
I was resisting every urge to say a joke. I would in the office say, mate, we don't want that. We just
Australia?
want... Yeah,
Australia
what about we just want those white kids playing, mate? The other kids are too big.
Oh, help me, please.
Yeah.
Especially 16 is when you start seeing the difference in size and stuff too.
Yeah.
Because some kids get like a big growth spurt. But that was a mad experience, definitely. That was a really enjoyable experience. And once again, it really helped me gain confidence in myself. Following that, I made the under 18s Lebanon Academy as well, which they approached me because our team was doing well, St. John's. And then following that is when I had the under 20s Lebanon, side, and we versed Fiji, yeah. That was like a mad experience as well. I was so enjoyable running onto that field, representing your country. You know what I mean? Wearing the flag on your chest, and like I said, it was really helping me breaking out of that shell.
Emotional in the national anthem? Like, did you feel emotional, I guess? And was your mum went to watch and family as well?
Yeah, correct. I had the whole family there. The drums were playing as we were going. Yeah, full proper, bro. Yeah. I was like, oh, do I start dancing? I was like, focus on the game. But it was such a good environment. Even like from the Fijian side as well, their harmony was beautiful. When I was that hymning, oh, bro, amazing. Like I was getting goosebumps. So it was good to see both sides had respect for each other too. Being so young too, because naturally you're just full of ego. But like we both had big respect for each other going into it. And then...
So what halted that? Because you have a lot of people in a pub say, I could have played NRL, mate. But what halted like your career, would you say? Like to not reach the NRL level?
I feel like because I didn't get into it earlier in terms of rep, saying like Bulldogs rep, SG ball. So I didn't have that development going on. So I didn't really have a spot, which I do think due to politics and being in the Bulldogs comp, being Lebanese didn't really help me.
Damn it, I'm not saying interesting, but it is because so in the Bulldogs, this sounds very, sorry, I'm stereotyping, but in the Bulldog system, being Lebanese went against you.
Yeah.
Well, explain that, elaborate on that.
I think previously they were running it a little bit differently. So in terms of how they had their structure and how they scouted for players, from my understanding, they had a lot of scouting from Parramatta, from Penrith. So whoever wasn't making it through then, they would grab them. They were even getting scouting players from New Zealand. So they weren't really looking at homegrown talent back when I was playing. And unless you had a spot early on where you sort of stand out, and my breakout wasn't until like later on, like years of putting in hard work. I was naturally a shit player, but it was through my hard work that I actually developed this skill and I was able to like keep up with the boys, if you want to say that like that. And because I was a late bloomer, it was a little bit hard in terms of working, playing footy, having training on, and then injuries, feeling sore after the game, all these things. So that in itself was hard because like if I'm not getting paid to do it and I'm putting my heart and soul into it, and I don't really see like any sort of effects out of it, like naturally you lose that motivation. So I stopped at 21 21. And then the thought of coming back, I was coaching a under 16s team at the time, and I was showing them an L drill. So just coming up, stepping off the cone, pass on. And then as I've stepped off the cone, literally I was thinking about it because we were playing a touch proof with the boys. I was like, fuck, I can still do this. And then literally after that, I tore ACL, MCL, meniscus. So that was like an indication or like a sign for me that I don't think league is the game for me. In terms of like, because I was literally having that thought, like, yeah, I feel like I'm going to make a comeback. I'm going to start training hard. Like, I feel like my body's, because even though later on I was fit, I was strong, it took until like I played Lebanon under 20s, my body, that was when my body finally caught up. So I was like, all right, because I was a fullback, but I would play like an extra forward as well. So I'd take multiple hit ups if needed. I was like who you could call on to like take that, do all the hard work so the forwards could relax. And the backs were fucking lazy, the wingers and centers. So, of course, I had to pull my pants up and fucking get it in.
You're normally pulling your pants down.
Oh.
We're still recording. You're like, is this still a part of the podcast? Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying, is he actually saying that on the podcast?
That was a Christmas party.
Yeah. But so are you saying with that you had the realization that, let's say it was a sign that you weren't meant to make it, or you just feel like
I was made for something else.
Okay, I got that. And so there's no regrets there whatsoever.
Not at all. Don't get me wrong, like there's times where I think like I'd want to play again, but then I realize that's not me wanting to play, that's just my competitiveness. And you could say a little bit of ego, just wanting to prove that like I can still do what I did. So let's say if you played in, for example, A grade, you'd want to show that you could play with someone who had played in NRL. Correct. Is that, yeah, but then you don't know if that's a part of the ego. That's right. And then upon touring the ACL, MCL, meniscus, partial tears in the MCL and the meniscus, so they naturally will come back together, although the ACL was a complete tear. So they did want me to get surgery, but it was a year wait list. Also, if I wanted to get private, it was about 13, 14K. And me being that young, basically supporting myself, and then I couldn't work. And then, yeah, so like the odds were stacked. So through that, I was sort of forced into rehabbing myself. And then in the moment, I was a bit dreading it, but literally 2 days after I had done all that, and the doctor told me that, I was literally back in the gym, on crutches, doing single leg RDLs. Because I read multiple studies about like training still one side of the body still helps the other one react through your nervous system. So if anything, in the moment I was like, fuck, like dreaded, like, is this it? And then, but it was what I now realized that was a stepping stone into upskilling myself once again. And now I help people rehab their knees, any sort of injuries like that, understanding actually how the anatomy of the body works. Is through learning it through rehabbing myself. So never saw physio, never saw anything, just those doctors that told me I needed to get surgery.
That's impressive.
It's okay. I feel like it's not really impressive. It's anyone can be impressive. I feel like it's the actions,
even me.
Definitely you. I feel like when you're put in a certain position, it's up to you whether or not you're gonna make the most out of it. That's how I see things, because I never see myself as, oh, I've done this, and this. I see myself as I've learned this.
A work in progress.
Correct, yeah, constant. What's the old saying? Always the student, never the teacher. So, and yeah, man. So coming from humble beginnings too, it wasn't as if that was the initial thing. I always had to do things on my own, whether it be training. Brother helped me, of course, but like training by myself, because at a certain point he had to like distance himself, because he was like, oh, you need to start doing this on your own. And then, yeah, so that's when I was like doing whatever I needed to do. So even going into school, I'd wake up, even though school doesn't start till like 8:39, I'd wake up like 5 a.m., go for a run around, still living in Bilbao, so go run around the block, come back home. We had a little bench set up, and I would literally just be doing chest, arms, shoulders, and then get to school still like an hour early, being the first one there, and then watching on YouTube Eric Thomas. This was still early on, before like influencers and everything was sort of a thing. and I just watched it through YouTube. And I was watching that early on, just gaining that hunger, gaining that motivation, not realizing how it was gonna shape me later on. And then that's why I think if I didn't have those occurrences early on, I wouldn't have had that mindset or strong enough mindset to be like, oh yeah, I can do this by myself, rehab, learn all these things, and still continue to do it. Even though I'm back to running, I'm back to jumping, all that stuff, I still need to stay on top of it, because I'm a big believer as well, after having like a lot of injuries, why wait until your body tells you need to do something? Why not just beat it to the punch and just keep that constant, keep that discipline? And it's only going to help you, in my belief, to be a better person overall.
Mate, I'll tell you what, we might need to do a 3-part series with you. I was just thinking, I haven't asked you not one question, but it's been good. And also I must say, you're our third Maryland's guest.
All right.
And Marrickville, guys, when you come back on, you got a lot to live up to. Yeah, these have been really, I hope you're enjoying it. I was going to say at home, but if you're in the car, maybe you got the heater on.
Ooh.
Maybe
Disabled toilet.
Maybe you got some top
clients.
deck. It's chocolate. I thought this is how the pod would be, more laughing, but maybe some top deck chocolate, and maybe someone's rubbing your leg.
Possibly.
It could be.
Yes.
It could.
Yes. Hopefully the same sex.
Could be. What? Well, it could be. It could be anyone. Even a homeless. Is that correct to call them homeless people?
No, I don't think so.
Without a home.
I feel like any place can be a home. It's how you make it.
Mm.
So you can live in a house, but it doesn't mean it's a home.
So you
can
could
live in a box. It doesn't.
It could be. Wow. Well, some people do get put into boxes, and that's what's wrong with the world.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So is that what we're segueing into?
So boxes. So there are 4 ways. Yeah. But there's a lot. God, there's a lot to unpack. It's been very good so far, and as I said, hope you guys are enjoying it on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to our podcast. But and Adam's doing a little cameo for the video. Oh, YouTube as well.
Yes.
I got to get back on that YouTube. But I want to ask you. You talked a lot about self. What would you say? Not self-discovery, but sort of independence and doing things on your own. So I do want to get to one of these questions before we finish. The comp. So the first comp you did on your own, and this is going to be no different, this comp, correct?
Correct. So first comp. So originally I was approached by one of the personal trainers in the gym, training at Crunch Alexandria. He was looking at my physique. At the time I was doing F45 training as well as hypertrophy training. So conditioning and weights. And then he was like, oh, have you ever competed before? Long story short, he sort of talked me into having that idea of like, I can compete. He gave me the confidence once again. And then from there, literally 2 weeks into it, he ghosted me. So my coach goes.
So he approached you, said you should do a comp. You got in the conversation, and then he left.
Correct. Yes. And this is 8 weeks out of the comp, so that's already quite a short time to prep. Naturally, people are prepping like the year before, sometimes like 30 weeks. The shortest you should do in reality is like 12 weeks. Yeah. So I was already doing such a short cut. So my macros was down, calories was down. Still have to maintain high training threshold, intensity, all those things, and then. I guess from more childhood trauma, getting used to people just leaving my life, I was like, you know what? It wasn't that bad. It wasn't as if I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Someone help me. I was like, you know what? I can do this.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it out of turn, but I was going to say that has happened to you a little bit, hasn't it?
So, just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because also we'll keep on the comp prep, but I do want to chat about like your induction into PT, because that's like, we don't have to talk about the fitness playground stuff if you don't wish, but your introduction was tough, but go on about the comp prep and then we'll get on to that.
Okay, so it was for show in Newcastle, and then competing in physique. So I done it. I had my friend as well who had a camera. He was just like, he knew how to do photography, so I was like, oh, come up, you can stay. We'll stay up for like a night, and then my mom came up as well. Those were the only 2 people there. And then, I jumped on stage, learning all my posing from YouTube. So just copying people on YouTube. There was one coach I think his business Rip On Fitness, if I'm mistaken, who did give me like a couple pointers leading into it, but it was literally just like one showing. And then, but yeah, basically everything else by myself, training, nutrition, and then still maintaining work. Didn't drop off with work. And then I would do 6 days a week training. 5 days of those week was twice a day. So I'll do the F45 class, conditioning, and then I'll do my weights after. And then, I end up pulling out second, third, and third for physique. So that was pretty good. I was really proud of that. Still a bit disappointed I didn't get first. Just being who I am.
Yeah,
Being who I am, bro.
Can I ask you to, like, with that, do you, is it like, what's your self-talk like? Is it like, you can do better, but you're very good at blah, blah, blah? Or is it literally like, Adam, you're a pussy?
Yeah.
It's like, Adam, you're a pussy.
Don't be a little bitch.
Okay.
That stuff gets me going. Like, I can't really do it's okay, you'll be all right. Like, I've phased out of that. That was who I was when I was a child. But now, maturing into a man, I feel like I need that self-push. So, like, even, once again, going back to how my brother pushed me early on, going back to, like, rehabbing my knee, like, all that stuff, it was like, you just got to do it. Like,
well, you've been, just hearing your story, you've sort of been pushed into those situations where if you didn't do it, what was the alternative? Like, even growing up, not saying your mum's done an amazing job as a single parent, but let's say in terms of a male figure or things like that, you kind of had to be your own.
Yeah, in a way.
And so you didn't really have a lot of those situations. Sounds like even though you've done really well, you didn't have an option as well.
Yeah.
So, which is good.
Correct.
To a degree.
To a degree, yeah. Understanding now, in the moment, I didn't realize what was going on. I was just going to do it just for the sake of doing it. And I guess that fell into the people-pleasing aspect, because whenever I did have any guy mates that came into, like just came into my life, I naturally, that's probably why I wanted to please them, because I was just like, subconsciously, I was like, Pause.
I'm sorry. Pause. I'm sorry because this has been such a serious chat, but just like any guy you wanted to please. Yeah, go on.
But yeah, just being a people pleaser. There we go. That's much better. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just because I think subconsciously I was like, I don't want them to leave. I crave that. Even though my brothers did show me love, I'm not saying that. Just like from another aspect, because they're my brothers. Just like, like family's family. But at the same time, like just craving that camaraderie, like from the boys. Because my brothers were much older. Like my oldest one is, I think, 10 years older, and then the second oldest is about 5 years. So there's a big gap. And I didn't have cousins or anything around the same age as me. So not even family I can sort of really mingle with or understand from my perspective what I'm going through at my age and everything like that.
And I can assume that would get you in bad situations too, because if you're trying to please like someone else, then it's like, it's not really, I guess, the best. It can be sometimes not the best for you as well.
Because then you sort of lose, even though I didn't know who I was, you make it harder to find who you are, because you're taking on personalities, taking on personas to fill in the gaps. Not understanding what you're doing in the moment, but yeah, making it much harder to get back to that core of who Adam is, what do I like? Did I really enjoy footy, like watching it and going to the games and stuff, or was that because my family enjoyed it and I felt the need to like bring that back on? Like little things like that. Like even growing up, I was playing footy and I was playing basketball. So Wednesday nights from 16, I'd play basketball, and I enjoyed basketball a lot more. Originally, before the triple tear, I ruptured my ACL in a basketball game as well. Going for a rebound, his knee hit my knee, everything popped out. And then 6 months following that, that's when I tore everything. So, yeah. So, like, there's a lot of things to really come out of that.
This guy's probably literally done 60 sessions like this week, guys. So, but man, it's been... and I've said this on all three, but it's been great so far. But how long do you reckon we've been chatting for? As a
20
give me a
minutes.
rough. It's been 45 minutes.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's how good. That's if a podcast is good, it goes so quick.
Yeah.
But I want you to give a little summary of your PT career, like as it started, because you chatted with me on the floor the other day about that, and I thought it was quite interesting. But it did
The vision?
also and it just did go along with what you're saying about not people leaving, but more like how would you say it? Like you pushing through a bit of not heartache, but
Animosity.
animosity, or how would you say? You obviously like I was saying before, you're forced into situations where you sort of had to sink or swim. That's the
Yes.
best way I can say.
Yeah,
So
I like that.
give us a little bit of a rundown of your start to the PT, whatever you would like to say.
No, I
By
don't
the way,
mind, man. Like the first job coming out of the academy. Well, during the academy, they had an open night where a bunch of PT businesses were asking, okay, looking at these new PTs coming out, who would want a job here, there. And I had spoken to a gentleman who owned North Stratfield Vision at the time. And then I gravitated towards him due to his story, how he came from humble beginnings, hustled, sold me that hard work mentality. And then that was literally my first PT job coming out, was at Vision. And then not knowing what I was really stepping into, because once again, like everyone can wear a mask, but you can only hold the mask on for so long before you forget you were wearing one. And I didn't know I was coming into a bit of a toxic environment. And then me being a young kid, I was like, what, 18?
bit
18.
naive.
No, not even that. I was aware. It was more so, I wouldn't say naive. It's just because I'm such a positive person and I wear my heart on my sleeve. So I'm not really looking for the negative. Although the negative started to come out to me, if that makes sense. So like I'd notice it in little conversations or whispers, or even the older PTs a bit jealous of me because like I was just like young and I was full of energy and I was like ready to get it. Not knowing that from my point of view, I was nervous. I had anxiety. I was like not sure of myself at all, not confident in my ability at all. And then the long story short, there was a bit of mistreatment to the staff. So a lot of the staff went through with some court proceedings. I don't know if I can talk about this, but yeah, that happened. And then I was like, I'll just leave. I don't want to be a part of it. They asked me if I wanted to put in. I'm like, no, I don't want to be a part of it. So I just left. And then
I think that's fine because you didn't mention. Yeah, that's
and
fine.
then following that, that's when one playground came, fitness playground at the time, actually. Yeah, fitness playground came up at the time. Still working my weekend job, so I'm still doing the waitering as well while doing the PTing and stuff. And then, but it was a horrible situation. Like I'd be there 5 a.m., leave around like 7, 8 p.m., and then maybe getting paid like $90 a day, $100 a day, if that. And then, but me, that mindset and what he sold me was like, oh, just work hard, just grind them out. It's all going to pay off. Fast forward to fitness playground, went through the induction. They originally had me at Newtown, so I was at Newtown for a couple of weeks. And then in the nicest way possible, without sounding racist, they're like, oh, I think you suit the demographic more of Marrickville.
Mm-hmm.
And then moved on to Marrickville and then loved the team there. Amazing team. And then I climbed up to 30 sessions quite quick, I think in a couple of weeks. So I was like off to the races. Justin even like congratulated me. And then, miscommunication from who was the head coach at the time.
Yeah, you don't. I think it would be okay with it. You don't have to mention.
No, I'll just say
they're not at the company anymore.
Yeah, I think
anyway,
like a month or two after he was like gone. So
yes, yeah.
So he just handed me a sheet. He's like, "You're done here," and then he didn't really give me an answer or anything. So I literally was like broken on the spot, like crying in front of him. And he's like, "Oh, do you want to go say bye to the team?" And I'm like, "Nah, don't."
Really? So that's how much it meant to you at the time.
Yeah, man.
So you really I
was taking. I didn't have a car. I was taking a train. I had a client. I took on a client at 4 a.m. So I had to take a train. Trains start like late 3 a.m. Not so. Literally waking up that early, taking a train in the freezing cold, walking from Marrickville station all the way. So like I was there putting in the hours. It wasn't as if like, I was just like
floating around.
Yeah, or a spoiled kid like just rocking around like in my car or anything, like literally that. And then to see all that sort of unwind, and then it really broke my confidence for a little bit. And then, but now you fast forward, 6 6-7 years, even more. And yeah, it's kind of completely different scenario. So I'm a big believer in like time and place, and things happen for a reason. So if those things didn't happen, I wouldn't have went through what I went through in between to create me or to bring me into the man I am, and the abilities I have, the skill I have, the confidence I have. And that's why I feel like I'm doing a lot better now.
Yeah, I feel like we could chat for about 3 hours.
I know.
But I'm thinking maybe what we do is we keep it on the track, because you also have to. I am mindful that you have to get back to the gym as well.
Yes.
So
Still working. Yeah.
yes, he's pumping it out. But I think we keep this one sort of about your past, and then maybe come on for a part 2 about the future.
Yeah.
And what you're looking to achieve as well, because I think people find this one very interesting. And as I said, I could make a 3-part documentary. It'd be like Adam, the past, and the present, and then the future, and then go from there. But I guess, should we round it off? Because I am mindful you do have to get back. Yeah.
Whatever you want.
For you, I guess looking back now, is there any, and I think the reason why I'm saying this, I'm not bombarding you or shocking you on the podcast, but I did say to you, potentially some of the situations you're in your past, do you think you might have had a wall up as well, though, or had like your back to the wall, just considering everything that had happened to you?
After that, are you saying?
Yeah, or just you describing your childhood and things like that. I think it would be hard, to be honest, for any person to not have some trust issues with people or things like that. Looking back now, do you think any of that occurred, like in yourself? No. Okay.
Like I said, wearing my heart on my sleeve, being the person I am from my mum, of not having any secret intentions, not worried about like if someone does, and just being a loving, caring person. So I was never like, oh, I shouldn't trust that guy, or maybe I should be careful what I say. Like I was just...
You're pretty open.
Yeah, correct. That's what I mean. And that's probably a good thing, and it can also be a bad thing, because then you can just get burned. But don't get me wrong, like I forgive now, but I don't forget. So, because there's a lot of baggage to carry. So I have learned from those things that's happened in my past, but never put a wall up. I think it's more so if there is something that comes up, it's just more so getting used to the appreciation, because I've never really felt that much other than like the love from my mum or brothers or family, like not
from. So you never felt that much from like friends, or just in general?
Genuine appreciation, not facade appreciation, because I could always tell the difference, and that's probably why I went even above and beyond in trying to please my friends and everything as well. But being the situation I'm now currently, I'm still, this is an adjustment for me, because I'm so grateful for it, but at the same time, it's like learning how to deal with it, not in a negative way, but like, because I'm one as well, I don't allow anything to sort of get to my head or make me feel like I'm this, I'm that. But I guess it's a good self-reflection for me to let me know that all this work I've done, it's actually done something. It's not just like all smoke and mirrors. Like it's actually molded me into what I did, like what I've envisioned myself when I was like only
the fat kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. I didn't know how to say it, but yeah.
Only 3-4 years ago, I was still having panic attacks, like to the point
really,
where I hyperventilate and everything. So this has been a very big work in progress.
It's funny well, not funny, haha, but it's interesting you did say that, because I was going to say, just with someone with your upbringing and everything you've chatted about, like, is there a part of you that when your life's going well, you think there's something around the corner that's going to derail this? Like
early on, now,
no,
not even a thought. Yeah, just in terms of, I think, because the work has allowed that. But early on as well, because I hadn't healed that young Adam, that kid Adam.
Titty boy.
Yeah, big titty boy.
No.
Titty, double D's.
No, but on a serious note, so big titties. um, on a serious note,
Yeah.
the panic attack. So that's interesting. So because I've never obviously I'm experienced anxiety and depression before, but I've never experienced like panic attacks. So what does that feel like, and what did you do to manage those?
It feels like the weight of the world on your shoulders. It feels like you're grasping for air, and it doesn't matter what you do, you sort of can't. It's like a constant hole that you're digging yourself into, but it's just a state of mind, really. It's now having that realization. It was just something as simple as letting the thoughts get to me, or once again not thinking I'm good enough, and it wasn't something that would happen like say every day or whatever the case may be. It was like say there was a point where I was working 3 jobs. I was working at JB Hi-Fi. I was working at F45 Bankstown. I was working at Anytime Alexandria. And then say I didn't feel comfortable around the staff at JB, not because of anything they've done, the energy. I'm very big on energy. I just didn't feel that vibe. And then like sometimes before I'd like need to go for my shift, I would just like need to go into the, the toilet.
Break room.
Yeah, and just I couldn't even go to the back room. I just had to have time to myself, man. Yeah. But in between that, that's when I was getting into my breath work. That's when I was getting into my meditation. So that sort of helped me in terms of my anxiety. But I guess it came to a certain point where I actually had to, rather than just looking at what happened, I had to understand what happened to me early on. I had to understand that I am good in what I do. I am who I am. Like there's no expectations I should set on myself to make other people happy.
And how long would those periods last? Like, would it be
say about like 10 minutes, man? Like literally before my shift. Like
which seems like me hearing that, 10 minutes. Let's say I was chatting on this podcast. It's gone so fast, but to not be able to breathe, 10 minutes is a long period.
You're just grasping for it. So like breaths like that. And trying to get control, but you're just your body's in such a shock state. Yeah. I didn't get those early on. I used to get sweaty palms. I used to get shakes. I would shake a lot.
It's only because of the knees wake up so sweaty. I'm so sorry, man. It's a very serious topic because I don't want to make light. This is what we like to do as mates, but I don't want to make light because it sounds so honestly horrendous. The like having panic attacks. I've only had people describe it to me. I've had anxiety, and I know that doesn't feel good, but like to have that actual, it make you physically feel like that must be terrible as well.
In the moment, yeah, and then having to do a 7-hour shift afterwards. And then, just make it, I'm okay. Like, and then sell to people and then whatever the case may be. And yeah, man. But I'm big on surroundings too. So I don't think that surrounding was helping me grow. So once again, being a big believer in everything happens for a reason, that was happening. That was like an indication. Maybe I'm not in the spot that I need to be. So not thinking, I feel bad for myself or what's wrong with me. Just like, this is not it. So that was similar to how my injury happened. I'm like, leg isn't it. What I was doing, even I was hustling, I was like helping myself, like making money to support, buying my clothes, buying food, stuff like that. I was like, nah, there's more for me. Like I need more. Like I'm deserving of more, basically, yeah.
And then I want to sort of split this into parts if we can. I've only asked you one question from the run sheet too, but I want to say, like, to end off, what would you say to, I know we joked about it, but what would you say to, I was going to say young titty boy, but what would you say to, let's be serious again. I feel like we've jumped pretty well from serious to funny as well, but let's be serious again and say, what would you say to young Adam?
What would I say to young Adam? I wouldn't say anything to him. I wouldn't know what to say. I just would want him to know that he's fuck off.
Sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
You see this? You guys see this as well?
I'm so sorry. Go on. Go on. Yeah. Sorry. I think, when you think I shouldn't laugh right now, it's like in school when you're in trouble and it's like, don't laugh. This is good content. Yeah. This is a good podcast. But yeah, go on.
No, I want him to let him know that. Like, that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Let it stay. One more. Give me one more.
No, I just want to know that he's loved, and like, yeah, like you're all right, like you're okay, like don't feel pressured. That's about it. Like you're doing fine. Just be a kid. Yeah, just be a kid. You don't need to act older. You don't need to put on a persona. Just be you, and being comfortable with being you. I knew it was coming.
That's actually, man, it's been, I don't want to, sorry if you are Adam's family or friends and you're listening. I think it's just our relationship as well. But it's been a great fun. It's been actually, like, I thought this is how the podcast would have run.
Yeah.
Because we're quite like, if you see us in the office or whatever, we joke around a lot. But as I said, I would love to have you on. I reckon we could honestly do like a 3-part.
Yeah, if the audience wants me back on.
Yeah. We could potentially offloaders if you like that. We could release this one, so this will be next Thursday, and then we could ask the listeners if they want a part B. But I think they would. I mean, like I said, with the Marrickville guys, Maryland's guys so far, I could definitely get all of you guys like back on, but I feel like it's so funny. We've talked about like your past self. It's been an amazing podcast. We talked about your past self. I didn't actually know about your family dynamics and things like that. So on a serious note, and I do apologize to Adam's family and friends if they're like, look at this ticket. But I want to thank you for being so open on the podcast, and potentially, you never know with a podcast, we have been listened to in 50 countries, by the way, and that's not a lie. Yeah, I mean, Sri Lanka is 0.1%, but it's very slow. But you never know who could actually, on a serious note, listen to this, whatever age they are, and could be in a similar experience, and they might actually draw strength from what you've said today. So
I hope so. That's what I try to embody now. Like, I just want to inspire.
Yeah. But it's been great, mate. Thank you for coming on, and we'll definitely get you on for part B and C. Yeah.
Oh, C.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd like to see you naked. Okay. We've had a great time. I think we should end it right there. And I want, would you say our catchphrase?
Our catchphrase?
Yeah, so I don't think I got the other guys to say it, but you have to say, I've taken a load off for this week.
I'm taking a load off this week.